Hello, welcome to another Blender tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll talk about simple object animation. Now, this will seem a bit counterintuitive because I first showed you how to use bones and armatures and rigs to animate a character instead of actually showing you first how to animate a simple object. But it's mostly because I was doing that whole character thing and it was kind of like a set track and I was going just on it, but I figured out for a next tutorial when I'll show you how to animate sort of a scene, you also need to know how to animate simple objects. Basically, it's kind of the same like animating bones. You still use keyframes, only that as far as I know, I don't think you can use NLA strips for this, or maybe you could. Can you? I think I'll give it a try actually. So, actually I'll go in the animation view and select NLA editor here. And this, I'll just drag it all the way here so it doesn't inconvenience us. Now let's see what happens if I go to action editor and having the subject selected, I press I. Location and rotation. Well, what do you know, it might actually work. So let's move the cube over here, rotate it a bit, and go like, oh, actually let's go 50 frames forward. Just insert another location and rotation. Well, I think it actually works. And here's another thing I haven't told you about. If you press R 2 times, you can go into track rotation mode, trackball rotation thingy, something like that. It offers you more control on the rotation. I, location and rotation. And let's see if I can actually create an LA strip after this. What do you know? I can actually create an LA strip out of this. So yes, basically you can animate objects just as you can animate bones. I didn't actually know you could do that. Well, this is kind of like a good news, I guess. So let's see. Another thing you can do is you can animate the camera without actually having to animate the camera. So if I select the camera and select the cube and I press, what did I don't know what I did there, sorry. And I press control, so select the camera and the cube and press Control T. I can click here and do a track to constraint. What that does, basically, it makes the camera follow the cube. So now as the cube animates, the camera will follow it. Let's go in camera view and view the animation. And it follows it nicely. So I've shown you, of course you don't necessarily have to have the camera track to an object. You can also add separate keyframes for it if you want to, but for the purpose of this tutorial I'll let the camera track the cube. Let's render a single frame and change this light type to hemi and move it somewhere toward the camera. And here's another thing I'm going to do. I'm gonna select the light and then the camera, and by pressing Ctrl P I'll parent the light to the camera, so when I move the camera it also moves the light. This way No matter where the camera would be, the light would be on the same position relative to the camera and the object, basically, since the camera is tracking to the object. So let's set the scale of this. And let's also add a plane. Scale it up. It's somewhere at the center. Whoa. Put it on the z-axis. I'm kind of repeating that simple scene tutorial. So let's set a nice background. Something like this. Add a material for the plane. Something like this. Make it ground-ish. Then let's make the cube red. And let's add some other objects around. UV sphere. Let's make sure it doesn't collide with the sphere. And let's make this blue. Like this. Of course, we need to make it press N key. Where the hell is the N key? What did I pressed... Oh, I pressed V accidentally. I need to press actually T, not N. So I get this menu here and set it the sphere to smooth. Press T to hide it, and let's see how it looks. Nice. And let's also activate ambient occlusion. Whoa. I need to change the light source back to a spotlight. No, not to a spotlight. A point. Yeah. Just for decoration purposes. Then, sure, why not add an animation to a sphere? So let's see. Insert a keyframe for location here. At 40, we want it to be somewhere up here. Insert location. It's going to fall a lot faster. So insert another keyframe for the location. Add a slight bump up. Then back down. So now Yeah, it's choppy, but it serves well the purpose of this tutorial. Yeah, it's okay. So now, if you wanna render an animation, we gotta let's go back to the default view, and here at the render tab, so over here looks like a camera. We want to modify a few things. First of all, we want to look at the output, and we want it to output, say, an AVI file. Yeah, raw. And we're going to output it in my default Blender work folder. You can set it to whatever you want. And set this back to 100%. Well, actually, no, a high resolution will slow it down. And then can set this back to 50%. You click here, and the animation rendering starts. Now, I'm not gonna film the entire process. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna finish this tutorial, and I'll post the animation result in a video response.